How much hope is there for people without direct mentorship to go very far? Because I've also heard you say that in addition to this oblique learning, probably the most powerful spiritual help you can have is a master such as yourself who works closely with you and helps you in that subtraction process, helps you in the diminution of I.
I think if a person can learn how to learn, there are innumerable sources from which to learn. I'll get to the position that I play in a moment, but for the learning process and for everyone, whether someone has a mentor or someone doesn't have a mentor, being receptive and learning the clues and learning that to extract the clues and learning to recognize in themselves when they're open and when they're less than open, even in this moment, open or less than open. Are you listening to me and criticizing? Are you listening to me and giving a chance to maybe this guy knows something? Probably he doesn't. Probably he's full of shit like everybody else. Probably he's faking it. And probably I am. But what if I'm not? Because if I say I'm not, the possibility exists that maybe I'm not full of shit. Of course, the possibility exists that I am. But if the possibility did exist that I wouldn't it be worth it to give it a chance? And can you give it a chance? So a person can assess so much for themselves. And if a person continues to assess for themselves, it's my perspective and my opinion that the doors will open for that person and whatever is needed will appear along the line, whether it's someone that plays my position or someone that doesn't. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the uniqueness of the position that I play, I considered it really important because the door that really leads to the connection that's been lost, the interconnection with the energy that keeps us alive, that connection that's been lost, that door that directly leads there is the door of meditation. And meditation, as I understand it, is an extremely passive process. Because what you're doing is you're submitting to something that you didn't create. You're submitting now. You might be sitting quietly in a room, you might be looking at a candle, you might be following your breath, but you're not trying to discover your breath. You already have a breath. You're trying to discover the energy behind that breath, hidden beneath and behind that breath. So you have to become passive in relation to that. And where in our world, do we learn passivity? We learn that passivity is the enemy. Get active, make it happen, get control, get a position, get money, get reputation, so that you can control. Now, control is not what's required if you're sitting and petitioning that energy to appear for you when in all your activity and moving around, it will never appear for you because you're too busy. So some training ground is really needed, a training ground for that passivity. Now, of course, it has to be a safe training ground, not a training ground where somebody's going to tell you, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. I don't tell people really to do anything. 98% of the time, if a person asks me what to do, including put this together, what we've done, it's you guys decide, you guys decide, you guys decide. Every once in a while I'll say something, if I think the train is going off the cliff, which doesn't happen often, but it can happen. But otherwise, to have someone in that position is, and be with that person and be exposed to that person so that you don't have to trust them, but you see they're for real. And you know, as much as you've taught that we're all here, that we're not all here in terms of our auto mechanic skill. I'm certainly here. We're not all here in terms of our swimming skill. I'm certainly here. We're not all here in terms of etc., etc., etc. Now, if a person has put in 50 years of concentrated time in exploring this question, not trying to make money, not trying to get famous, not trying, etc., that person probably has picked up a few things along the line. So it's possible that that person could play that role. And it's possible that that role is needed. And in my opinion, it's very supportive. Now, is it absolutely necessary? I can't say that it is because I didn't create the design. I'm far below the pay level of the creator of this design. So I can't say that at all. But I can say it's definitely helpful.